I bought my first Wyze Cam quite a while ago, and I really liked it. This little guy here. So I bought 2 more. I got a lot of use out of these, and I'm still using them. This is the Wyze Cam version 2. And since then, Wyze has come out with a few new products. For example, this Wyze Cam V3, which is awesome. This camera has a much improved lens with a wider aperture, which allows more light to get to that sensor, which in turn gives you much better low light footage. In total, I now have 7 Wyze cameras. 3 of the V2s, 2 of the V3s, and 2 of the camera we're going to talk about in this video, and that is the Wyze Cam Outdoor. And this right here is one of those Wyze Cam Outdoors that I've put to good use. I went ahead and screwed the base to the downspout off this rain gutter. This seems to be a great spot to get a wide view of the entire front door area of my house. But of course, a position like this does pose a major challenge. And that is the simple fact that there are no plugs anywhere to be found near this rain gutter. I can't plug this thing in, but Wyze has thought of that. With this Wyze Cam Outdoor version, it is actually battery powered. So this camera completely runs off of battery power, which is awesome. This means you can mount these things anywhere you want. They're also weatherproof, so theoretically you don't have to worry about rain getting in and ruining these things. They are a bit more expensive just due to the extra features and the wireless capability. And in order to make these things work, you do need this extra piece of equipment here you can see on the ledge in this window. This is another wireless transmitter that hooks up to your Wi-Fi and connects to these wireless outdoor cams. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. When these things first came out, I was super stoked. I bought the kit, which included that wireless transmitter and 1 camera, and as soon as I received it, I set it up, and over the course of the next few days, I was let down dramatically. In the beginning, the camera just didn't seem to sense very much. It has this new PIR sensor, I think they call it. It just didn't seem to work all that great. And even when it did sense some movement and start recording, it was way after I had already left the frame. Like for example, it would get the last 2 steps of me walking out of the frame rather than the first 2 steps of me walking in the frame. And of course, I went to the forums and let Wyze know. And there was a heck of a lot of other people with the exact same gripes. But since then, Wyze has pushed a lot of firmware updates. For practically all of their cameras, they do get regular firmware updates, which I like to see. Especially this Wyze Outdoor Cam, well, it gets firmware updates, I want to say every other week about, and I don't really know what they've been doing, but they certainly have improved the performance of this camera. Not only does it sense things somewhat on time now, it's not perfect, but it's way better, but the battery actually seems to last a lot longer than it did when I first bought it. Needless to say, with that battery improvement and the improvement in how the camera actually operates, you know, like it actually records events that it's supposed to, I'm pretty happy with it, and so I bought another one. Yeah, I never thought I'd be saying that after the experience I initially had with the first one, but now it's pretty dang good. It works pretty good. So on to mounting Wyze Outdoor Cam number 2. The first thing to do is to assess where you need the camera to be. And in my case, in order to get a really good shot of the entire yard and the deck, I'm gonna mount it again to this downspout from the rain gutters. Maybe right about here. This will give me adequate rain protection with the eave of the roof, as well as protection against sun flares from the sun. The view will look something like this. I now have the base securely mounted, and you can see this magnetic part of it here, and this is where the camera will be mounted. I'll be able to mount it there and have it looking out at the yard. Okay, here is the new Wyze Cam Outdoor. It's all charged up and ready to go. It's on. All right, we are going to be climbing this ladder, and that is a very strong magnetic mount. Okay, here I am in the app. I'm going to go ahead and rotate my phone to the side, and you can see that I'm getting a really good view of the entire backyard here. I've got that wooden deck as well as all of the grass area. So for me, this is exactly what I was after with this outdoor cam here in the backyard. Something else I can do is go to the settings here, down here where it says detection settings. I'll click that, and I have my detection distance and the image sensitivity all the way up to 100 here, and I can adjust those as I need. But hopefully you can see down here at the bottom, there is this light blue area that's the PIR effective area. And it basically says to manually adjust your camera's position so that the target area is within the PIR effective area. So the PIR sensor on these cameras basically only represents the bottom 2/3 of the frame, I guess. And so basically the area you want detection, you need it to be within this light blue zone. There's also something they added here called detection zones. I've adjusted this detection zone just a little bit here, but you can see that you can set up the areas that you want it to notice before it starts recording, just to help increase the battery life of the camera so it's not recording all the time. Okay, so I just opened up my Wyze app here, and you can see this, hopefully you can see this, it says new subscription available. And that is because the one major caveat with this Wyze Cam Outdoor is that you absolutely need to subscribe to their Cam Plus program. What the Cam Plus program allows is for basically it unlocks all the features of the Wyze Cam Outdoor. What's really odd with the Outdoor is it doesn't record the events to an SD card like all of their other cameras do. That was one of my biggest gripes about it when I first got it, but eventually I sucked it up and paid the $15 to subscribe to the Wyze Cam Plus program. It is unfortunate you have to pay the $15 just to unlock the features of your pretty much $40, $50 camera, but in total it's still a pretty low price to pay for what you get. So I'm going to go ahead and click finish setup here. It's basically telling me that I have one available license, so I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to select, I already have my front porch camera, which is a Wyze Cam Outdoor, and now I'm going to select the backyard camera here and hit OK and activate. So now my two Wyze Cam Outdoors are subscribed to the Wyze Cam Plus program, which basically turns them into a usable camera. And one of the main features here that you get is the maximum video length you can increase from the standard 12 seconds all the way up to 5 minutes. So it can be recording for 5 minutes of an event, but that is sure to drain the battery. I always like to max everything out and then adjust as needed. So I'm going to save that at 5 minutes. The other thing is this, what's called recording cooldown, and that is between events the camera wants to stop so that it can essentially cool down. Right now it's set at 5 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way down to no cooldown. And like I said, that may seem extreme, but I can always adjust that later if I feel like the battery isn't lasting as long as I'd like it. So I'm looking at the footage from the camera on my phone, and I'm going to try something here. There's a little button right over here that basically allows it to record. So I'm recording. Hello. Hopefully you can see me. I know it's not going to be an incredible quality, but hopefully you can see and hear me. And this is pretty much the quality you're going to get right off of the camera. So take it or leave it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go into the backyard, and we're going to see at what point this camera actually notices me and starts recording. You can see this is my gate right here. So it should be able to see just inside this gate. That's how I have it set up, but this is awfully far away from the camera. Okay, here we go. I'm walking in. I can see the camera right now. I'm hoping that it's picking me up at this point as if I'm an intruder. I have an idea. Let's go up on the deck and, you know, act like we're gonna be an intruder here and see if that camera picks me up and starts recording. I'm hoping it's recording right now and it's, you know, thinking that it needs to, because this was the problem that I was having with it before, where it just really wouldn't start recording for a long time. I could walk out of the frame and it would get the last step or two out of the frame. So hopefully this is recording me right now, and we will check it and see what it looks like. So it's been some time now, and actually I have moved the camera from its original position, and that's because, well, it just wasn't performing really at all. So I had to move it. I think it was just too far back from this back patio that I really wanted to get. So I moved it a little bit closer, and I'm not super happy with it, but it seems that the camera is actually working now. The camera was located right about here on the downspout from the rain gutter, and now you can see it's located right there. Now, of course, a full-size adult could probably just reach up and grab that, but at least I'd be able to see exactly who it was while they were doing it. With the camera mounted there, it's going to get this entire back patio. And that really is the whole point. I want to be able to get any activity on this back patio. Obviously we have windows here, a door here, and windows just down the side of the house. So I want to get any sort of person back here that, you know, basically maybe trying to break into my house or whatever. Well, as you can see, these Wyze Cam Outdoor cams are very quirky. They employ a PIR sensor, which I believe stands for passive infrared sensor, that is kind of finicky. You have to set that sensor up just right in order for it to be able to recognize that there's something going on in the scene. From what I've been reading, you can't really have anything coming towards the sensor. It has to be crossing through the sensor from side to side. I think that's what I've been reading, and the way I have it set up in the front of the house, and it's been working really well like that. So with that first scenario in the back of the house, I think that I just put the camera a little too far away from where all the action was going to be happening. I really don't know how far that PIR sensor reaches, but it just wasn't recording anything. I was walking around all on the back deck, all in the backyard, and it wouldn't record me until I got fairly close to it. Then I moved it up to that second position, and it seems to be doing much, much better there. All right, guys, well, I hope this video helped you in some way. If it did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. My name is Jimmy for The General Expert here on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one.